This is Tyler Moss here with state finalist Austin Mcnaughtan. Just had a thriller in the semifinals. He's agreed to come over and talk with us. Austin, your blood's got to be pumping still. That was really the match of the tournament for any classification, for any team. How are you feeling getting that big win over Isaac Terrell?
I feel great. It's like surreal right now. Like, I can't believe I did that. Defending state champion, pinning him in the first period. It's just crazy.
Well, and not just defending state champion, a two-time state champion that you're knocking off. And everyone knew that was kind of the big dog that you had to go through at your weight classification. The heavyweight is so deep this year with obviously yourself. You've got Howard there at Uinta, Terrell at Lehigh, Barney at Spanish Fork. We saw him up at Wasatch the other day. Really tough wrestler there that was also in the semifinals. What was your game plan coming into the state tournament as far as trying to make a run through such a tough bracket there at the heavyweight?
We always talk about the first points of the first match. So you score those, and then you score the next ones. Then you go to the second match, score those points first. And then you get a break in between those matches for the next day. And all week we've been talking about how I was going to beat Terrell and how he's a shooter. And all we could talk about was how he hated getting thrown. He was not going to get thrown. And I ended up throwing him.
Well, you threw him, and you threw him perfectly. It looks like Terrell's strength, he's so strong in his legs that the way you threw him, I don't know if this was your intent entirely, and I'd love to hear you break it down, but you threw him in a way that you got all your weight on his upper body, and he couldn't use those legs to leverage. Was that the plan? Did you get to a spot where you knew this is the one I need, or is it just kind of luck the way that it worked out getting to that spot?
That throw I've been working on since my freshman year. It's hard to defend because you have their wrist, and if they don't, they break their wrist if you don't go. And so it's kind of a dirty move, but I like using it because it works so effectively.
You know, you beat Isaac Terrell there, and now we're going to turn the page and turn our attention to what's really been a ton of fun. Every time you match up against Gage Howard from Uinta, and he's the other finalist that you're going to be facing off against tonight. You guys have been in overtime multiple times this year, had some really good matches, and just face him off in the divisional championship where you had him up until the very last second. He broke away and got an escape in the last second, and then he ended up getting the win on an escape in overtime. What are your thoughts going into this matchup against Howard, and what's your plan to try to get the win over a guy that's kind of had your number so far this year?
Well, before the season, all we could talk about was getting the win against the Uinta kid all year. We've been saying, we're going to get him, and every time I've got a little bit closer to winning, and I think this is for sure my time. He wrestled a lot like me, very defensive, kind of, and so he doesn't have a lot of offensive, and that has benefited me, because I'm a very offensive wrestler.
Yeah, and I noticed last time you went up against him, though, you were pretty defensive, even on your decisions where you could have went down with your choices, and you chose neutral a couple times in that match. What was the strategy there, why you wanted to go neutral rather than go down and get an escape point?
I just know I can take him down on my feet, and I've been having troubles in my last match against him getting up, and I spend way too much energy on bottom. So I just let's just go up, get a takedown, take this into overtime, was my thinking.
Well, Austin, it's been so much fun watching you so far, and obviously you're not done yet, but I want to shift the gears a little bit for you. Coach Wade Disher's final year as the head coach for Wasatch, retiring at the end of this one. You're certainly giving him some good memories to go out there, getting a dramatic win like you did in the semifinals. What's it been like wrestling for Coach Disher throughout your high school career?
Oh, it's great. He's such a good guy. He's a great coach, but mostly he's like another parent to me. He's always going to be there when I need him, and he's just so fun to be around.
Do you have a favorite Coach Disher memory? Something you can tell on the radio?
Well, the one I was going to say is probably not going to be able to go on the radio, but probably there's all the trips we go on, like Florida, Virginia, all those in the off season. He's so cool to go with.
Well, that's one thing, you noting those trips, you work very hard to become the quality wrestler that you are. But I know wrestling's not your only sport here. You're a big-time football player, and it probably depends on the season, Austin. You've got potential to play in college in both of these sports. Is there something you're focused on? Do you want to compete in college? Are you talking to any schools, or are you just kind of taking it one day at a time?
Well, right now, I want to play football in college, and right now I'm just focusing on wrestling, getting through wrestling, and then tomorrow we'll focus on football.
Well, from what I understand, a lot of college football coaches like seeing wrestlers, especially the heavyweight classification, in your conversations with football coaches. Is that something they've encouraged you to do, to continue to wrestle because it's a good thing for football recruitment?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Their whole O-line wrestled in high school, and they were all very good in high school. I mean, that's what I just want to try to be like.
All right, Austin, you are just a few hours from having the wrestling season over, and then I know those offensive line coaches are all about putting on more weight. Wrestling's about cutting weight down. What meal are you looking forward to the most when this season comes to a close?
Well, I've been eating normal all season. I'm a heavyweight, I don't have to cut, but tonight we're going to Brick Oven, and I can't wait for that.
Brick Oven, I like it. Austin, we like to joke that your family owns Mirror Lake Station, which has the best donuts in Utah. You working on an NIL deal that you can get there with some Mirror Lake Station donuts?
Well, I keep asking them if I keep posting their Instagram posts if I can get free donuts all the time, and they keep saying no.
Austin, looking forward to watching you tonight. Thank you so much for taking the time. Congratulations so much on the monster win in your semifinals. Hopefully you're able to go out and have a good state championship and bring home that state title. That's Austin Mcnaughtan, junior wrestler for Wasatch High School. Thanks, Austin.
Oh, thank you.